Hi everybody, it's Miss Amy and I'm here to bring chapter 8 and 9 of Roald Dahl's James and the Giant Peach. Remember, I do not own the rights to this book, I just own the book and I'm glad I get to share it with you. Today I have a special guest. This is my oldest daughter, Abigail. She asked if she could share a chapter 2 today and I said, sure, come on in. So, yesterday when we left chapter 7, those mean old aunties were looking up in the tree, and that peach tree started giving off a big, gigantic peach that just kept growing and growing and growing. It was almost as big as a house. What a marvelously peculiar thing to happen, right? We were warned that it was going to happen. So now let's go into chapter 8 and see what's going on. The news that a peach almost as big as a house had suddenly appeared in someone's garden spread like a wildfire across the countryside. And the next day, a stream of people came scrambling up the steep hill to gaze upon the marvel. Quickly, Aunt Sponge and Aunt Spiker called in carpenters and had them build a strong fence around the peach to save it from the crowd. Are you kidding me? They didn't ask James to do it? What a shocker. Must have had to been a pretty perfect fence for them not to let James do it. Or, excuse me, make James do it. And at the same time, these two crafty women stationed themselves at the front gate with a large bunch of tickets and started charging everyone for coming in. Roll up! Roll up! Aunt Spiker yelled. Only 1 shilling to see the giant peach! Half price for children under 6 weeks old, Aunt Sponge shouted. One at a time, please. Don't push. Don't push. You're all going to get in. Seriously? Because I can guarantee you that if Sponge and Spiker was in that crowd, they'd be pushing and shoving. Wait a minute. What am I talking about? It costs money. They wouldn't be there because they're cheapskates. Anyways, moving on, Miss Amy. Hey, you! Come back there! You haven't paid! By lunchtime, the whole place was a seething mass of men, women, and children, all pushing and shoving to get a glimpse of this miraculous fruit. Helicopters were landing like wasps all over the hill, and out of them poured swarms of newspaper reporters, cameramen, and men from the television companies. Looky there. See the helicopters in the sky? And here's mean old Spiker and Sponge. Look at, they actually almost look like they have smiles on their face. Must be fake smiles. Or maybe they're smiling because they're getting rich. It'll cost you double to bring in a camera, Aunt Spiker shouted. All right, they answered. We don't care. And the money came rolling into the pockets of the two greedy ants. But while all this excitement was going on outside, poor James was forced to stay locked in his bedroom, peeping through the bars of his window at the crowds below. The disgusting little brute will only get in everyone's way if we let him wander about, Aunt Spiker had said early that morning. Oh, please, he begged. I haven't met any other children for years and years, and there are going to be lots of them down there for me to play with, and perhaps I could help you with the tickets. Cut it out, Aunt Sponge had snapped. Your Aunt Spiker and I are about to become millionaires, and the last thing we want is the likes of you messing things up and getting in the way. Later, when the evening of the first day came and the people had all gone home, the aunts unlocked James' door and, of course, ordered him to go outside and pick up all the banana skins and orange peel and bits of paper that the crowd had left behind. Could I please have something to eat first, he asked. I haven't had a thing all day." "No!" they shouted, kicking him out the door. "We're too busy to make food. We're counting our money." "But it's dark," cried James. "Get out!" they yelled, "and stay out until you've cleaned up all the mess." The door slammed. The key turned in the lock. They locked James outside in the dark. Oh, those women are just such nasty, mean aunties. Anyways, moving on. Abigail's going to read chapter 9 while I come over here and just calm down.
Hungry and trembling, James stood alone out in the open, wondering what to do. The night was all around him now, and high overhead a wild white moon was riding in the sky. There was not a sound, not a movement anywhere. Most people, and especially small children, are often quite scared of being out of doors alone in the moonlight. Everything is so deadly quiet, and the shadows are so long and black, and they keep turning into strange shapes that seem to move as you look at them, and the slightest little snap of a twig makes you jump. James felt exactly like that right now. He stared straight ahead with large, frightened eyes, hardly daring to breathe. Not far away, in the middle of the garden, he could see the giant peach towering over everything else. Surely it was even bigger tonight than ever before. And what a dazzling sight it was! The moonlight was shining and glinting off its great curving sides, turning them into crystal and silver. It looked like a tremendous silver ball lying there in the grass, silent, mysterious, and wonderful. And then, all at once, little shivers of excitement started running over the skin on James' back. Something else, he told himself. Something stranger than ever this time is about to happen to me again soon.
Something miraculously peculiar.
He was sure of it. He could feel it coming. He looked around him, wondering what on earth it was going to be. The garden lay soft and silver in the moonlight. The grass was wet with dew, and a million dewdrops were sparkling and twinkling like diamonds around his feet. And now, suddenly, the whole place, the whole garden, seemed to be alive with magic. Almost without knowing what he was doing, he felt as though drawn by some powerful magnet. James Henry Trotter started walking slowly toward the peach. He climbed over the fence that surrounded it and stood directly beneath it, staring up at its great bulging sides. He put a hand out and touched it gently with the tip of one finger. It felt soft and warm and slightly furry, like the skin of a baby mouse. He moved a step closer and rubbed his cheeks slightly against the soft skin. And then suddenly, while he was doing this, he happened to notice that right beside him and below him, close to the ground, there was a hole in the side of the peach. Here's a picture of the giant peach.
And right there's James.
Little James.
Little James. He's a wee little boy like Zacchaeus.
And that's the end of chapter 9.
Ooh, boys and girls, we're at a good stopping point. I bet you want to know what happens next, but I guess you'll have to stay tuned and wait until tomorrow when we read the next chapter of Roald Dahl's James and the Giant Peach. And until then, if you're listening to this or watching this before bedtime, good night and
Sleep tight.